phoned-in question about the BSP sale of our gold, Mr. President. Who is that BSP representative po? Deputy Governor? Just to follow up the issue or the matter raised by Senator Amy Marcos yesterday. The Philippines sold 24.95 metric tons of gold. Is that an accurate statement, Deputy Governor?
Could you repeat again how many metric tons?
24.95 metric tons. Tama po ba? In the first place, tama po ba yung ating unit na ginagamit? Metric tons? Do we use metric tons?
This is for just this year.
And then I will ask for the time period nga eh.
Number is 40.5 metric tons.
Saan yun? Saan yun? September, January to September, 40. 40.5 metric tons.
So 40.5 metric tons. So thank you for updating our information kasi sa news report po ito, first half of the year, 24.95 metric tons. So that's January to June. So ang binigay sa atin ni Deputy, may we know the complete name of our resource person, Madam Chair?
Francisco Daquila Jr.
Who is an Deputy Governor?
Deputy Governor.
So thank you, Deputy Governor
Daquila.
Daquila. January to September 2024, 40.5 metric tons. So are we the central bank which sold for year 2024 the biggest volume of gold in the market? World? Is the Philippines the number one seller, Bale, of gold? Yes. Yes.
For 2024.
For 2024.
For 2024,
so far.
Yes. We
and do we know who is the second placer and how much is the volume of that second placing central bank?
We are getting that information, sir.
Our guess is it must be Thailand.
You have
So
you're correct, sir.
You're correct. May we know the volume, the volume of Thailand as far as the BSP knows?
Until June now.
9.6 metric tons, but it's only until June.
So the same.
Sa atin po kasi hindi. Hanggang September tayo.
I have the same figure for June. Okay. So it looks like, let us say Thailand also sold. So, but hindi naman siguro lalapit sa 40 metric tons yon. Or Thailand could even have stopped selling. So it's at 9.6 metric tons. So masyado pong malaki ang ang agwat na between the central banks. What do we know that they don't know, or what do they know that we don't know?
Ng gold to reserves. Ang Thailand is 8.4%, tayo 10.3%.
Mr. President, our share of gold reserves is about 10 point something percent, 10.2%. Yung Thailand nasa 8.4%. So
nung nagbenta tayo, mas malaki pa yung gold.
Kahit nung nagbenta tayo, mas malaki pa rin yung reserves natin.
Yung share.
Yung share natin.
Of the share of gold in the GIR. is 10.2% even after we sold the 40.5 metric tons. What would be our, I don't know, what would be the volume of gold that we have in our GIR? Right now, after selling the 40.5 metric tons.
We are verifying
Sige
the
po.
figures.
Sige po. And what was the decision-making process? Why? Kasi pareho, whether gold or dollar, GIR siya eh. So, why did we decide to convert gold into paper and ink called the dollar?
Going back to your question, sir,
sige po.
it's 1.128 metric tons.
So we still have left with us now 128 metric tons of gold.
Correct. And nabawasan na doon yung 40.5.
So meaning to say around mga 25%, gano'n ba? Around 25% of our gold holdings we sold.
Yes.
More or
you'd
less,
like
di
to
ba?
know-
Kasi 160 something metric tons siya.
Yeah, 100.
Sige.
yeah,
So 25%
61.
of our gold holdings we sold, converting the form of the GIR from gold to dollars. What's the thought process, sir?
It was converted to US Treasuries.
US Treasuries. Pare, di ba halos ano lang yun? Di ba replaceable yun? I mean, that's
Interest earning treasury.
Treasuries of bonds. Bonds, yes.
bonds. But when the bonds are redeemed, dollars. Tama, I mean,
Yes.
kaya what's the thought process?
What's the process?
What was the idea? Kasi sir, yesterday, I think yesterday you reported that our dollar position is 112 billion.
Mr. President, because it's been invested, it's actually earning interest now. In the past, obviously, we are holding on to the value of gold,
Yeah.
and we were questioned, why would we sell, especially when the value of gold is so high? That's precisely when you sell. But of course, with the guarantee that you also diversify and you leave a sizable portion in reserve, which we have done. But again, it's also a calculated risk, your appetite for risk, because of course you can hold on to it dahil sabihin mo, ang laki ng value, tatago ko to. Pero pwede bukas makalawa, bumaba rin yung value niyan. Ngayon, pag sinabi, pero ang gold, it's more stable. But we've seen gold prices dip also. It's not a guarantee that it will be constant. But if we put it in certain bonds, there is a guaranteed rate of return.
What is the average rate of the bonds that we exchange our gold for?
4.2%.
4.
So there's a 4.2% rate of return, which still higher than inflation.
When you talk about bonds, may pati ba period? You need to take into account the period. May period ba yan? May mga period.
10
Diba?
years.
10
10
years.
10 years.
10 years.
So siguro sir, ganito, we're just auditing your kasi this is the chance for us to audit, for the Congress to audit the actions and decisions of the central bank because you're before us now eh. You don't normally appear before the Congress eh. You don't ask for, there's no GAA amount for the central bank, diba? So siguro if we can just ask, for example, when you started selling gold, magkano siya per, how is the price of gold measured? Troy ounce, as yesterday mentioned by Senator
Yes,
Marco.
per ounce.
Troy ounce. So kunyari, sir, when you started selling in January, how much was the price of gold? And then January to September, what would have been the average price of our gold that we sold? And then may I ask, what is the price of gold now?
Right now, it's about 2,700. 2650 today, 2,650
$2,650 per anong unit?
per ounce.
ounce, per ounce, okay? And then when you started selling gold, how much, January, how much, sir?
$2,257.
So,
Average.
average. So over 9 months, nag-increase siya ng $400 per ounce. Can we make that parang conclusion?
January, 43. So, September, bakit na siya sa 247?
Yes, Mr. President, that is correct. It was at about 2,400 average. And now it's about 2,650. But that's not an average. Today, the 2,650 is as of this time.
As of today, yeah. Kaya. Sige, who were the buyers of Philippine gold from the BSP? Are these also central banks?
It's an international market.
So traders could have bought, gold traders could have bought from us?
Banks.
Huh?
Banks. Gold
The banks alone? Only banks could have bought of our gold?
investment banks. Mostly.
Investment banks are, ano ba yung investment banks? They also trade gold siguro? They trade gold. Okay, sige. Sige, so yun, medyo, pinalabas lang naman natin yung facts eh. And then the golds that we have in our central bank vaults are all locally mined gold. Tama po yan? Hindi, or binili rin natin sa international market ang iba dyan?
All the gold that we have in the Philippines are locally mined, but we also have a vault, apparently in London, that we also buy gold from the international market.
So the gold that we have sold, mix of locally mined plus the gold that we have bought from abroad, from the market.
We only sold the local.
Local. Okay. Sige.
I'm sorry.
London
We only sold the gold in our London vault.
And then, kaya, what's the gold in our London vault? Foreign gold din yun?
Yes.
Sige. Okay. Pero maganda kasi, Madam Chair, just want to share with all of you na the central bank invited me and they showed me our, how do you call it? The gold, ano ba process? We turned gold into the bars.
Smelting? No.
Yeah, the gold bars. So I saw it for myself. And those are the gold mined here in the Philippines. So yan yung parang metallic resources natin from the ground, now converted into bars, and now tradable items, Mr. President.
Yeah, Mr. President, as I recall and confirmed by our secretary, we're the 5th most mineralized country in the world. Of course, it's not, there's always a trade-off. I mean, we only want responsible mining and then giving back to the community that they mine. But there, if it's just about the reserves of minerals here, we are one of the top 5.
Yes.
1.9 trillion US dollars daw.
So yung ating pong binanggit na figure for our GIR in gold includes the London Vault. Okay. Yes. The answer is yes. I just made some computation dito. So if we fail to maximize the price of gold at $400 per ounce, medyo malaki-laking halaga, but I will leave you to also compute that for yourselves, Mr. President, and the BSP. Okay. So at any rate, we just wanted to understand the thought processes of our decision makers in the Bangko Sentral, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, Bangko Sentral, just one more question on the polymer notes. Is that still an experiment or is that already your final decision. It's already a program.
I suppose the question is about the action
Yung-
money, right?
yes, yung
Imbis na
1,000.
yung Abaca, Abaca
Yes.
Fibers. I don't know if it's true, but I know I'm not supposed to ask this question, but
Please.
what are the advantages of polymer, right?
Durable po. Okay. Paper money. Tapos, mas maraming security features so mahirap siya in counterfeit.
So is this still just a program or is it already?
Parang tingin ko po yung
Okay, so while they're checking if it's just a program, actually itong mga currencies na paper currencies man tawag natin doon, notes, paper notes, mas durable ang polymer and I guess it's more flexible in the addition of security features. In terms of it being
Yes, Madam Chair. As explained to me kasi, they were conducting an experiment. Now, but I think ang laki na nung order, ang laki na nung quantity, number of pieces released into the market. So, is it still an experiment or pilot testing?